We've just witnessed one of the biggest bear capitulations in the stock market. Everyone is now bull. Everyone is now calling for all-time highs to be just around the corner. And this may as well be the case. And this is what we're going to discuss, guys, in today's video. We're going to discuss both the bearish and the bullish scenarios of the stock market. And we have a lot to discuss, guys, starting with this chart over here, guys. I've done a lot of analysis over the last couple of days to try to understand what actually happened in the stock market over the last couple of weeks, and there's some very interesting outcomes I came up with. So very interesting, very eager for you guys to find out what the outcomes are. We're going to discuss both the bearish and the bullish scenarios from a technical and a fundamental analysis point of view. And just before I start, guys, the Ultimate Scalping Masterclass is now live. We've managed to release this last week, guys. We've been working on this course for over 12 months now. We've been going behind the stock market algos to try to understand how the stock market has been programmed, what are the programs that the stock market is running on, when do they work, and how do they work. And guys, this course is amazing. The outcomes of this course here, the strategies that we'll be presenting to you are there's nothing out there like it. And as we've mentioned before, it has over a success rate of over 90%. It's been a very difficult trading environment over the last couple of weeks, guys, and scalping has been the way to go, especially if you have a funded account. You don't want to be holding trades for a longer period of time. And the strategies that are presented in the course here, they work particular times of the day, and they are very, very successful, guys, working on smaller time frames. If you want to find out more about the course, or you have any questions about it, you can message us here, either here at MCI Trading Academy on the page below, or you can send us a message either via comment on this video, or on Discord, or on Instagram, or any other social media that we have. We are happy to hear from you. And just before I go into the video here, guys, don't forget to give us a like if you do enjoy today's video, and if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We do bring out the latest stock market analysis outlook every single Monday morning. Now let's go on to the technical analysis and start off by looking at this chart over here. Now, guys, the stock market has been on a crazy run over the last couple of weeks, especially on the Nasdaq. We've been on a monster run driven by technological stocks. Now, what I actually found out, guys, that it seems that the stock market has been programmed to act a certain way, especially on a Friday. As you can see here, guys, what I've done, I've mapped every single Friday over the last couple of weeks. And can you see that every single Friday we've actually had a crazy green day, a crazy bull day. This has happened starting from the 31st of March. You can see Friday here, that was a big green day. We also call it crash VIX Fridays, because the VIX has been literally crashed on Fridays, but that's a different story here. As you can see here, every single Friday, guys, we've had a massive green day. And what has happened every single time following Friday, we've had either a consolidation or a massive move lower following Fridays, guys. The only exception was Friday the 19th of May. That was perhaps the program had kicked in a day earlier, because you can see here a day earlier we had the two massive green days here. But can you see that that's the size of the candles, guys? This is the way. This is not those candles are very similar in size and shape, and this is not a coincidence, guys. The stock market has been programmed to do it that way. And this is exactly what happened last Friday. We had a massive green day here. What will happen next? Well, following, if we look at the past couple of weeks, on Monday and this week, we should see until Friday either a consolidation or a pullback down. just looking at what has happened before, so bear that in mind, guys. This will work until it doesn't, but as it stands right now, it seems like the stock market has been programmed to act that way, especially here on the S&P 500. Now I also wanted to show you this. This is the S&P 500. This is the real chart here of the S&P 500, and we discussed this before, and we discussed how we've had a gap here sitting at 4,225, and we were looking at that gap to be filled. The gap was sitting here, guys, I apologize, sitting at 4,267. This was the gap here that we've had. Now this gap has been filled last Friday, and this was the target. This was the thing that we were looking at for it to fill before we see a major pullback down. Now guys, can you see we filled almost every single gap? We have one gap left sitting here at 4,400. So I mean, if this gets filled straight away from this move here, is going to be quite crazy. Bear that in mind that we still have that there. But as it stands, guys, we have so many gaps unfilled left behind. Which means what? Which means that we need to see a pullback for some of those gaps to start to be filled. Remember, all gaps fill, guys, or at least 95% of gaps, they do fill within a very short period of time. So if we take that into consideration, then we need to start to see a pullback happening quite soon here on the S&P 500. Now guys, one level to watch will be this level here, the liquidity resting above this August high here. Now we've taken the liquidity here on the Nasdaq, but we haven't taken the liquidity here on the S&P 500. So bear that in mind, guys. The level to watch will be 4,325. So bear that in mind. If we do go up higher, I will expect us to either take this liquidity and then see a major pullback down. We may see that on Friday, guys. I mean, we may see a pullback here over the next couple of days, and then on Friday, this Friday, we may see a major pullback up, a major green candle, as mentioned before, because of the programs that are running in the background there. Now, guys, there are no economic news to be watching this week, so it's mainly technical analysis. We do have the inflation data coming next week, and we also have the Fed meeting towards the end of the month. So quite a lot of exciting things, but in terms of this week, there's nothing major to be watching. Now, if we start off by looking at the S&P 500 here again, and I just wanted to look at an hourly chart here, guys. Now, can you see? We are very, very extended. Okay, the RSI hit a level, a 92 level on Friday on the 1 hour chart here, which is quite extreme. But you can see, why did we do that? Because of the programs that were running in the background, guys. There's nothing, this is pure manipulation there. There's nothing technical, there's nothing else happening there. It was just pure manipulation and pure FOMO, because everyone was trying to do what? Trying to chase this rally, and it worked if you did that, for sure. Now, what are we looking at here in the S&P 500? Well, we are at our daily IC, the one that we've been mentioning for a while now, and we are pretty extended. Now, bear in mind, just be careful about that liquidity area sitting right there at 4,325. But unless we are looking unless we are there's another program running in the background, I will expect us to see a pullback happening at some point starting from Monday, actually, because we are pretty extended here, guys. We're getting divergences, the RSI even on the higher time frames, 4 hour, 8 hour. This is pretty extended here. Now, looking at the hourly chart, guys, we've actually managed to we are creating positive divergences here coming into the open here. One thing to go back and look at, we've had this gap here, this gap on the daily time frame, and we did say that as long as we are able to hold this gap, this should act as resistance. Now, can you see, guys, we've broken the gap, we've broken through the gap, and then we rallied through it. Okay, and this should have been the clue for you to go long there. The second we closed above it on the daily, that will have been the reason, the hint for you to go long. We've been discussing that for a long period of time now. I would expect to see, guys, a pullback either before or after this August high is taken back to the gap. And it's very important to see, is this gap going to act again as support? Because if it is, then it will be a nice area for us to go long at short term. We also have the lower expected move for the month, for the week there, sorry guys, for the week. And we have a nice IC there as well. So if we do have a pullback, guys, prior to Friday, watch out. Because if we go all the way down prior to Friday, remember what happens on Fridays, or what's been happening on Fridays over the last couple of weeks. So be careful. If we do have a pullback here, maybe we get a nice opportunity to go long. And if we haven't cleared that August high, that August liquidity, then that would be the target at that level. Okay guys, so if we do pull back at the beginning of the week, watch out for that. Next thing I wanted to show you guys is Apple here. Now Apple has been on a crazy run, and it's almost where? It's almost, guys, at all-time highs, and this is huge. Apple has managed to get to all-time highs on 5% interest rate, Fed funds rate. This is crazy, and this is not, in my opinion, is not sustainable. Now we are almost there. We're almost up there to come and clear the liquidity. As it stands, we are going to open up higher here, and in inches from this all-time high. So it wouldn't be surprising for us to take that all-time highs and then see a major reversal back down. Now be very careful, guys. We have a very important day for Apple. Apple is due to announce their the first VR set today. It can be a sell the news kind of event, because this has been expected for a while now. So we may get to all-time highs, and then when the news kicks in, we may get a major pullback down. So watch out for that. If we do get a pullback down, it will take the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 down with it for sure. So watch that, guys. It's going to be very important. Next, we get the UK 100, and guys, we've 100% smashed this call with the UK 100. A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that as long as we're able to hold this IC, then there's no reason to be bearish. If we close below the IC, the next target will be this daily IC here, and this is exactly what happened. Now looking from for our chart, guys, all we've done last week is that we came all the way down, we hit our daily IC, and on the 4-hour time frame, guys, would have been a perfect opportunity for you to go long. Why? We've literally cleared that liquidity resting there, and we cleared the liquidity. How? We cleared the liquidity with divergences, with positive divergences. And as we hit that liquidity, we cleared the liquidity, we consolidated, and then we went up higher to clear this liquidity. This has cleared this morning. So a perfect trade, short-term trade, if we have managed to see it there, guys. Okay, what do we expect to see next, guys? As long as we are able to hold this IC, then I expect us to go down and clear this liquidity resting here, guys. If we do close above this level, then we are going higher to clear that liquidity. But first this liquidity, and then the other one here sitting at the previous all-time highs. So this is the stuff to watch for this week on the UK 100. Next, we get the DAX, the Germany 40 here, and guys, this has been a perfect trade for us last week if you managed to get this. Now all we've done is we've had a massive move lower where we've cleared this liquidity. We've cleared the liquidity with positive divergences, lower low, lower low, lower low, higher low, and once we've taken that liquidity, guys, and we had positive divergences and we were oversold, we've had the massive move higher to do what? to come and clear this liquidity resting here, guys. And this has been a perfect trade. Now what is happening at the moment? So this was a trade for last week. Now in terms of this week, we've managed to clear this liquidity. We have divergences. We are close to being overbought here, and this is a great setup. Okay, we may have even a sell signal here for a shorting opportunity. As long as we are not able to close above it there, I will expect us to pull back down to clear this liquidity level here, guys. Okay, this will be the next target for the week. As long as we are able to hold and not close above this level here, I will expect us to pull back down and go here. Now if we do move up higher, guys, then we have the next liquidity is resting at previous all-time highs here. So if we do move higher, then watch this level here. Watch what happens after this liquidity is being taken. I will expect to see a sharp either a consolidation or a sharp move lower, and if we do see that, then this will be the things to look out for a possible short opportunity. Next, we get the US 30, the Dow Jones here. And again, guys, last week a perfect trade here. What's happened on the 1 hour chart here? We've had this 1 hour IC has held in perfectly. Came right here with what? With positive divergences. And what a move, coming into Friday. Remember, we know about Fridays, the program, the algos kick in on Fridays to bring the market higher, to crash the VIX. And this is gone where? This has gone perfectly to clear this liquidity there. Now guys, we are overbought even on a higher time frame. We have divergences here. Look at this RSI here. This is crazy. On the 1 hour, we have a sell signal. So it would make sense here to pull back down to. Now, guys, where do we pull back down? I do have this 1 hour IC here in mind for now. This will be the first target. As long as we hold this, then we can go higher. If we close below it, then I'll expect us to clear the liquidity and then perhaps reverse at that point. Now guys, remember, we are pretty extended on any other indices. So if we do, there's an old saying that we get the stairs up and the elevator down. So if there is a catalyst to bring the stock market lower, then guys, we can just literally crash within hours. We can reverse in a couple of hours, in a couple of days. We can reverse weeks, months of upward movement. So be very careful, okay? Watch out for any potential catalyst out there. Next, we get the Nasdaq here. Now guys, here on the Nasdaq is something very interesting. We are actually very extended. We are very extended from mean reversion. We're very extended from the 20 EMA. Every time we get this extended from the 20 EMA, we normally get a pullback down to it. Either a pullback down or a consolidation. So this is what I'm expecting now, guys. Looking at the higher time frame. Now we are getting very extended even on the daily RSI here. We are getting negative divergences and close to being overbought there. We are very close to clearing this liquidity, okay, all the way down from April of 2022. So watch, okay, perhaps Apple goes to all-time high, perhaps the S&P clears the liquidity, and then the Nasdaq clears this liquidity here. This will be the last thing I can expect before we get a pullback here, guys. Now, in terms of pullbacks, we are pretty extended. We've opened with a gap lower, so, and I think we've just we haven't yet filled this gap, but look at this gap to either act as support or resistance. For now, it's acting as resistance. If it moves up above it and closes above it, then watch this level here, that liquidity on the daily, to be grabbed before we see a move lower. Now guys, to be completely bearish on this, I'll be looking for a close below this level. As it stands, guys, this looks very bullish from a daily perspective. Now we are overextended, so we are expecting a pullback, but we're not seeing any signs of it yet. So To get a major pullback, you want to see a close below this level. You want to see a break of structure here, and then at that point you will expect to see a bigger pullback lower. Until we see a close here, guys, we can't be 100% bearish on this, even though the technicals are telling us to start to be cautious on here. Remember, the stock market can stay irrational longer than we can stay solvent. So don't try to fight the market there, guys. Okay, and that's why the scalping course comes in perfect here, because you can intraday on a very small time frame, starting with 1 minute to 15 minutes. You can do quick trades without having to affect your longer term view there, guys. Okay, in either directions. Next, we get the VIX here. Now, guys, the VIX is at its lowest it's been in a while here. The lowest we've had, the weekly close lowest since 2021, June of 2021, guys. So the VIX, there is literally no fear in the market. So any potential catalyst here can just cause a massive spike in the VIX. Now the VIX has actually, it's oversold. Okay, for once, it's very oversold, and has positive divergences, and has also opened with a gap higher. Now we do have two gaps that have not been filled from the last couple of weeks, so we expect those gaps to be filled. We are watching the 20 level. Okay, we want to see if we can get a close above the 20 level, but for now we may see VIX trying to fill this gap that's open up with on today's session, and then we may see a pullback higher. So be very careful. We may see that prior to the US session, and then we may get a spike in the VIX to try and fill those two gaps. And if we do, then we expect some pressure on the S&P 500. Now, one thing that's happened, guys, with the DXY, we did have a massive pullback higher in the DXY, just as we predicted. Okay, I've been discussing this over the last couple of weeks, that I'm expecting to see a pullback higher, to have one of the biggest. I did discuss about the DXY to have one of the biggest pullbacks in the biggest returns, in a very long time, and we did one of the biggest comebacks, and we did here. Now, funny enough, the S&P has rallied together with the DXY, and that is not very common, guys. Okay, so one of them is lying. Now, when the DXY runs at 5% interest rates, that is the real deal. When the S&P 500 goes higher at 5% interest rates, now that is something very odd there, and something to watch out for. So as the S&P is getting more overextended, we'll expect the DXY to carry on going higher. The first target is clearing those highs here. Okay, the liquidity resting above those highs here. So watch that level, and as long as we are able to hold this daily IC here, guys, then I expect us to go higher to clear the liquidity. If we do close below this level, also watch, guys, the 20 and the 50 EMA. This has acted as strong resistance. Now it's trying to act as support. As long as we can hold above those, then we are going higher. If we do move below and close below, we may see the the DXY moving lower below this daily IC. And if it does move below that daily IC, the next target will be 98. But for now, it looks very bullish to its target of 105,800 to clear those highs, and the ultimate target will be all the way up here, this daily IC sitting at around 109,500, guys. Next, we get gold here. Now, guys, gold, there's a lot of people that were getting excited about gold last week. That's it, gold is back, we are going back to new highs. Okay, whatever. I don't know why they were getting so excited. It hasn't reached our target. The target that we put, it's this daily IC here, okay, sitting at around 1 916. Okay, so until it reaches the target, there's nothing to be excited about when looking to buy gold. So we want gold to come here, consolidate, maybe we can get a long here. If this IC is lost, then we are expecting price to go a lot lower, perhaps to this daily IC here. So nothing to be excited as of now. We still expect gold to go and reach our target down here. Lastly, guys, Bitcoin. And again, so many people are getting excited about Bitcoin. Not sure why. People are calling for 100k now. We called for the top in Bitcoin for this year, and so far this is playing out. Now guys, remember I've said this a couple of times before. We were looking at this liquidity to be grabbed. It did. Now once the liquidity is being grabbed, we want to see a big reversal in the opposite direction. Now this hasn't happened here, and if the Nasdaq has not been able to bring Bitcoin with it, especially in this crazy bull run that it had, then what can Bitcoin do? And that's the worrying bit here with Bitcoin. So something that I say to be very cautious about. Now obviously if we do move in higher and close above this daily IC here, then we are back to being bullish. But for now guys, there's nothing to be excited for. We do see a potential target here on the next daily IC at 24,600. And if we do move in lower below that, then we do get to the this daily IC sitting at 20,000. So as it stands, there's not a lot going on here. It's building a potential head and shoulders here, which can have a target of all the way down here to 20,000. That's pretty much it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, the Ultimate Scalping Masterclass is now on. This is a one-to-one course, and the strategies that we have here, guys, they can also be used for long-term trading or investing. So it's not just about scalping, but if you do have a very busy lifestyle and you do have, perhaps you are not able to become successful in your own long-term strategies, come to the course with us. Will prepare you to become a very profitable trader, especially if you have a funded account, and will help you also to pass your funded account with the strategies that we teach you. Thank you very much, guys, and I hope you have a great trading week.